I've had about 2 decades of experience as a luxury expert in the fields of luxury and fashion. Storytelling is the backbone of, any brand narrative. Marketing in luxury or branding in luxury is all about creating the dream. Because price is always related with quality. Luxury, we don't even talk about price. Luxury has a language of its own, a mind of its own, an attitude of its own.
Hello, all again, and welcome to another episode of Just Center to Marketing Season 3, a podcast where we analyze a brand, a story, a campaign, or an advert, but most of all things marketing. If you have been following us for the first two seasons, you might realize there's a tad bit change in the season 3 format. From this season, we are bringing a guest on every episode, um, a guest who's an expert in one of the marketing fields, so that you can learn from them, their insights, their stories, and most of all, thank you so much, Neena, for joining us today on the podcast. Means a lot for
My
us,
pleasure.
and just looking forward to another episode of Insights. So let me introduce you to Neena. Ms. Neena Malhotra. Ms. Neena Malhotra. She's a luxury expert and educationist. And to give you a slight inside detail, she was my professor when I was learning luxury. So yes, and today just we are going to roam around the storytelling, the importance of storytelling, and what difference does it make in the field of marketing, the significance of it, and etc. So, Neena, to begin, can you just tell us about your journey with luxury and its association to storytelling and like your overall story?
I've had about 2 decades of experience as a luxury expert in the fields of luxury and fashion. I have also been a former ex-managing editor of Elle Decor, to be precise, and therefore my marketing and branding experience with luxury brands has been, frankly, huge in terms of making me an honest interpreter of aesthetics. So that has been my journey so far. And of course, I started teaching a decade back, wanted to come back and share my knowledge. And I've always believed that the more you teach, the more you learn. So I learn a lot from Prachi as well, as with other students. So I think we're always, I would say I'm still work in progress. That's what I would put it as. But on a serious note, yes, I've spent years advising luxury professionals, luxury corporates on how to really navigate the complexities of premium retail and customer relationships. So that is what has been my forte. And as I speak, I am still training a few brands in Mumbai, whether it's fashion, whether it's hospitality or jewelry. I also do knowledge sessions with corporates. And of course, thirdly, which has been the core, I also teach in luxury, institutes in Mumbai. So that's a little bit in a nutshell. And happy to really have you know, a spark of a conversation today with you guys on luxury.
Nice. Thank you. Thank you so much, Neena, for that. As we begin on luxury, Neena, just always a question, the difference between mass, premium, and luxury. That is, I think, one question which is not solved properly. And there is no proper explanation of how do you differentiate those brands. So many people have asked me to ask this question about how do you differentiate luxury.
So I guess, very simply put, let's take an example of a DIY brand like Zara or H&M, fast fashion, and let's take luxury. Let's take Burberry for that matter. All the fast fashion brands, they are time bound. There is no heritage. There is no craftsmanship. Like in comparison, we know that all luxury brands are timeless. They have heritage. And of course, they don't always depend on, certain seasons, right? Although we do have, spring, summer, autumn, winter. But I think that's the major difference. Also, another major difference being that, when it comes to the whole treatment of any non-luxury brand, I'd like to put it that way. Rather, the signature of a luxury brand lies mainly in its storytelling, like you mentioned earlier, right? Storytelling is the backbone of any brand narrative. whether it's its history, whether it's values, whether it's aspiration, it's the whole narrative journey, so to speak, is what luxury actually always deep dives in. Well, you don't see that in any fast fashion or premium brand. Like even Michael Kors, for that matter, a premium brand, you don't see any of the storytelling, any heritage. It's just that you walk in, you buy, and you're out. So basically, when you communicate luxury, like I'm coming to marketing, when you communicate anything about luxury, you communicate not its brand benefits, right? You don't communicate just the look and feel, the features. What you communicate is image, because luxury is a dream. There's some mystery about it, which there will not be when it comes to a non-luxury brand. So I would put it that way, that definitely, marketing in luxury or branding in luxury is all about creating the dream.
So, Nina, when you say about storytelling in luxury brands, and that you have the backbone, obviously. So, what I understand by that is that, so if I'm a Burberry customer and I walk in a Burberry store, I want to buy Burberry because of what Burberry represents to me. So that's the whole design process. That's the whole brand history behind. That's that kind of values that resonate with me as a customer instead of just walking in a shop because I need a jacket.
Yeah. I think that's a very interesting thing that you spoke about. The signature of a luxury brand is also a little bit about the brand's creator. It's about how he has presented the product or the collection with reverence. I mean, that's what you as a consumer want to know. What went behind this particular Burberry trench coat, right? What is bespoke about it? Can I personalize it, right? These are the things that luxury will talk about. Also, the typical typographical signature is, for example, its logo. For example, Chanel's double CC or LV's, LV. So the logo itself is also a visual symbol that portrays a story in itself. So not only the jacket that you walk in for, you will know where was it made, what is it made of, what is the maker magic behind it. Details. So luxury is very obsessed with details. That's why we say luxury is in the details. I mean, Givenchy said that and we still remember it, right? So, so that is really, really important when it comes to luxury. Because it's not a product, it's a lifestyle. So when you buy Burberry, you're buying into the Burberry lifestyle. You're not buying just a product.
So, Neena, as we deep dive into the storytelling, uh, from where does a story start? For example, any brand who wants to convey a story, does it start with the founders? Does it start with a product, or does it start with a history that is related to that product? From where does a story start? So, for example, because it's very important in marketing when you tell a story, it's the crux of it. So,
Sure.
what are the points that you have to take into account when you tell a story or when you communicate a story of a brand?
So like I said earlier, story is nothing but a narrative. How do you build a narrative? I think cutting across all luxury brands, one common, denomination is how luxury communication or marketing is about being a transmitter of taste. It is not to sell, right? Like how premium and mass products. It is basically, like I said earlier, it's about a very artistic communication, which is building a whole code around that particular collection or product. So the quality of messaging is very, very important. It is, so a good campaign will be very infrequent. It's not going to be drumming it down, right? Like how other luxury brands would do. This, mass market will always seek a frequency to drum down messages, you know, it in a very unsophisticated sometimes manner as well, so that it remains with you. But luxury, the storytelling is gentle. It's very infrequent. It's sometimes, and it is definitely exclusive and not inclusive, I would say. It's, it creates a community around itself. So there are unspoken, for example, Birkin communities. So when you when you move around in circles where you have work in, work in banks, you actually sometimes, your way to get in such communities is, oh, that's entry level Birkin. Oh, that's the, Himalayan Birkin. So it all depends, at what level a consumer is. Is he beyond money? Is he just, nouveau? Is he new money? Is it all money? So it all comes down to that as well. So as luxury has so many layers, it kind of the TG around the storytelling again changes from brand to brand. Yeah. But more or less, like what is common, I would say, is how the storytelling is about building a narrative around a particular product. It could be, for example, if you see the Cartier Le Odyssey, in Cartier, if you see the short films, you will see the panther, which is the logo, the mascot, moving around, all the markets. There's this beautiful video of the panther traveling across, right? So you actually see the mascot, the panther logo. It actually creates a story around it. The story of romance, romancing Paris, right? When it comes to Tiffany, again, it's all about, talking about love and occasions. So again, that's another story. So whether it's holiday shopping or it's, occasions like weddings and milestones, you obviously talk about, again, this is a storytelling which will be targeted to those particular occasions. So this is what I would say is luxury. Luxury creates a mood.
I wanted to take a moment and mention some of the campaigns. Andre, if you see the Cartier, I think I'm going to share some of the campaigns in the description for all the viewers out there. The campaign of Cartier, which happened in Dubai, the campaign of Tiffany, which happens in New York. So Andre, Tiffany was the brand who marketed engagement rings at another level, and they used to do it as Neena said, in such a gentle way that you immediately associate yourself with the same, and you immediately see yourself saying that, okay, if it has to be an engagement ring, it has to be from Tiffany. So to create that kind of story is something that you never
So I think
imagined.
luxury, yeah, because I think luxury is about emotion, like you beautifully just put it. It's emotion. So whether it's the emotion of romance, whether it's the emotion of aspiration, whether it's the emotion of, anything which really you're aspiring for, it kind of addresses that in a very low brow medium. So it is not like you're now reaching masses. Even mediums are chosen, right? So even if it is social media, it is more about discussions. It's creating a social experience of luxury. It's not just showing you products. And so, sometimes I feel that coming on to another topic, which I just did yesterday in my class, we had a debate on whether luxury should go online, right? So very interesting topic where I mean, I think that luxury experiences are more like a designer's fashion show, right? It's a spectacle that showcases the brand in a way that, wows the audience and gets people talking, right? So there is a long distance relationship there as well. Not everybody gets to sit in the front rows, right? The ones who can't sit in a show are seeing it online when they obviously broadcast it. So I feel that luxury is very akin, very similar to that. So it could be, so online luxury would be more about spreading or giving an update on maybe a celebrity who's wearing it, or a show or a news, but nothing. The mystery should still be alive. Yeah, it's just an artistic medium wherein you, I mean, even a website for that matter, focused on emotional impact rather than anything else. So again, coming back to luxury is an emotion. And that is what is the crux of storytelling.
Yeah, and Nina, I want to ask you. Obviously, talking about storytelling, and you said that you've been working in that industry for over 20 years. Looking back to where it was 20 years ago and where it's now, what changed? What is the difference now with the obviously internet and AI and social responsibility is now much more kind of in highlights than it was 20 years ago. But can you tell us a little bit what, from your perspective, what has changed?
Lovely, fabulous question and trajectory actually. What is really happening in luxury? When in 20 years ago, I would say, or maybe 2.5 decades ago, there was always something called tangible luxury, right? So you had your typical sectors, you had apparel, you had watches, you had jewelry, you had cars. Now these had a historical lineage, right? They were. We always spoke about how it's handcrafted, how they're using the best materials. I mean, let's talk Rolex watches, let's talk Hermes, handbags. Then slowly came experiential luxury, which is also becoming the buzzword today, right? Now we're talking about something intangible, where we're talking about, let's take an exclusive stay in Maldives or a private yacht charter. Now, these are also luxury experiences. They're not products, but they are characterized by, of course, being exclusive, personalization, and it's a once in a lifetime nature of this kind of luxury. Then, of course, old luxury was also service luxury, right? It was all about personalized services, concierge, exclusive memberships to clubs. It could be private banking. Very high level again of personalization, attention to detail, and of course, discretion. Today, what we are also seeing is digital luxury. We're talking about NFTs, we're talking about VR, we're talking about AR showrooms. So now what is really happening to luxury is from, I would say, from materialism. It's moving more to becoming experiential. And of course, when I say experiential, I also mean creating communities, becoming more, I would say, inclusive, gender fluidity. Slowly, brands are also getting into that. So for example, Miu Miu, I mean, the sales that they have been able to garner of late has been mainly because they are doing conversational selling. So today's storytelling is story selling, right? It's the tactic you use. You have to innovate. So I think that is also new luxury today. Storytelling is moving to innovation. Apart from the look and feel, it is moving to innovation. So luxury brands who are not innovating are just moving off the radar, right? They are the ones experiencing low sales because the consumer mindset is changing. You have to align with the consumer mindset. Sustainability is a table stake today. If you are not a brand with a purpose, you're nowhere. And that's why everybody is getting into sustainability. I think every luxury brand, including Louis Vuitton, including Chanel, all of them are talking about a 25% low carbon footprint. I mean, even Zara, fast fashion, is talking about this for 2030. Everybody is going to be, absolutely sustainable. It's all about aligning with what is happening around you because luxury is not separate. It also reflects consumer mindsets. It's very, very related to consumer behavior. So, yeah, I mean, what I see is, there's a whole, I would say, a complete change, that we see apart from just materialism.
For example, the other day we both were talking about Mandarin Oriental, and that is again a hospitality experience. Taj is a hospitality experience. So it's just like, for example, with products, you can still make a consumer stick with you, like because they have touch and felt it. But with experience is much more difficult. He's saying that, like, to maintain that kind of brand loyalty for an experiential brand, that is tad bit more difficult than that as of a product.
Sure. I think when it comes to
Yeah.
experiential, luxury, definitely there are ways which what brands are doing, right? So, for example, personalization. The VICs, the very important customers today are the, ones that luxury is frankly focusing on more rather than the non-luxury consumers. So personalization is having a one-on-one relationship with them. So that is the key, personalization. The touch points are very important. So there are private events, so for example, Tiffany does that. Tiffany actually invites its inner circle or, of the I mean, they actually invite their VICs for rare pieces that they've not seen. It could be an indoor private by invitation event. So events and art, I think these are two things for which loyalty can be maintained or is being maintained by even experiential brands. Because now brands are also they're going just beyond, their store or beyond the social media. They are doing, a lot of, I would say, like I said, they're doing a lot of events which are over and beyond to reach out to these inner circles because they know they are the loyal customers. So creating the emotional connection, actually, yeah, and very intimate and personalized. So I think that's what really wins hearts. And like you correctly said, it makes a ceremony out of it.
Buzz that it generates after that, obviously, that desire or the people wanting the same, even though they are not part of the VICs, but they want the same and they're going to create the buzz and they spread the word. And of course, other VICs, I assume, you will want that too. So that from one experience, you can generate others opportunities there, right?
Absolutely. I wouldn't really use the word FOMO here because although there is, if you actually see these videos of lifestyle of the rich and famous, especially the UK millionaires, you actually see, that there is this whole very interesting documentary I was showing my students wherein one of the consumers, I mean, he has some, I think, more than 100 Ferraris. I mean, how different can a Ferrari get, right?
That's
But
right.
that's his collection. I
And
mean,
how
you
many
have one,
Ferraris?
you have all, right? So, I mean,
Yeah.
how different can it get? But interestingly, it's a collective. It's a collectible. And that's what I think ultra high net worths also like to do. They
Yeah.
like collectibles. In fact, in one of the scenes, I saw somebody, one of the high net worth said that not that expensive. And the lady says, I'm sorry, then I don't want it.
Yeah, that's a perception.
If it's not expensive, I'm not interested. Right. So again, there are different codes, that luxury is all about. And that's what I do in life. Crack the codes.
And then the message, like you said, this example of if it's not expensive, I'm not interested. The whole brand message and the whole communication around it has to be on point.
Because price is always related with quality. At least, in luxury. Luxury, we don't even talk about price. We follow anti-laws of marketing. Yeah, in luxury, there are anti-laws of marketing. This is one of, the sessions I take. That luxury doesn't sell. Luxury only creates an image. Luxury only sells a dream, even if it sells. It's not selling the product. The ethos of a brand comes from the founder and it trickles down.
With this, I think even merchandise plays a lot of role. Like, in each market, you see a different merchandise. In every city, rather, in every store.
Sure, like it's consumer behavior actually again. So the north, of India would be very different from the south of India. So the consumers vary. India is very diverse in their buying behavior as well. So, and I think this goes for the whole world. The markets differ. A European consumer is very different from an American consumer, from a Middle Eastern. So there are nuances which luxury brands know. The whole concept, for example, of pop-ups actually came from New York. That is why Gucci in fact, they started doing a lot of pop-ups in New York first before going to any other place because it's something which is very well received. So again, consumer market behavior is very important. What is received now? Everybody is doing pop-ups across the globe, but some brands still shy away from it. It all depends on which market we're talking about. And also then it comes to collaborations, how brands collaborate with like-minded brands. Luxury has its own, I would say, its own language. And then it again differs from founder to founder, right? So because it's so layered and because it is got its own signature, right? You can't really structure it. So luxury, like I said, it follows an anti-law. It's like, we've always learned in economics, supply and demand, the ratio. But in luxury, it's exactly the opposite. It's a lot of demand and less supply. And that is one of its, don't want to be everywhere. It's like I'm sexy and I know it. You want me, come to me, right?
Yeah.
I don't come to you. That has been one of the, I would say, ideologies of any luxury brand. That's why you have to book an Hermes bag. You have to book a Ferrari, wait for 3 years. You can't just walk into an Hermes store and buy a Birkin bag. You have to book it. You have to qualify to be a buyer.
Yeah.
That's the new thing,
Qualify.
right?
Yes.
You have to
Yes.
have bought before to be able to get on the list. So luxury has a language of its own, a mind of its own, an attitude of its own. So There is no hard and fast.
I think, Neena, we are coming towards the end of the episode. So, first of all, I would like to thank you for your insights. I hope this helps a lot of viewers out there. Just like three more questions, Neena. For someone who is just looking to step into the luxury industry, and what are the two things that you will tell the person before he or she steps into the industry?
The first thing I would say is MBA so yesterday, luxury so today, right? Everybody has been doing management, but luxury is a very different world. There's so much to learn. There are so many nuances, so many layers. So I would say that's the first thing, and the second thing being, since luxury is so much obsessed with details, to really understand that it actually slow fashion, exactly opposite of fast fashion. So if somebody can understand slow fashion, talking about sustainability, that's also the new luxury, I would say, right? It's sustainability. And the third thing, I'm actually curating a book, on a playbook on luxury living, like the secret codes to become a connoisseur of luxury. You'll hear about it soon. Maybe we'll have a podcast maybe later on that. And of course, you need to have the, I would say the charm, the people skills, and of course, the hunger for knowledge, because luxury is knowledge. Rather, knowledge is luxury. So if you have that in you to build storytelling skills, then nothing like it.
Hi, it's me, Andre. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to check Neena's social links on the description below. Also, make sure to subscribe or follow us wherever you're watching or listening to this. And please share this episode and leave a comment. See you again in 2 weeks. Bye!